the legality, how and more so your perspective on it, which like I obviously fully support what you're doing, but I'm sure there are people that say, well, he's breaking the law and has that ever been like, I know you're like anonymous online and everything, but I guess how have you squared that in your mind as the years have gone on and the potential dangers that could mean for you, despite the fact that you're doing a noble, admirable, amazing thing that everyone should support. But the fact is that some people in law enforcement might have something to say about it. How has that affected your process or your life, or has that ever scared you? Like, how do you see it?
I mean, of course, if you do something which is illegal, of course you're going to be nervous about it. I am always nervous. I would say that is my number one worry, probably. But there's always a but. No matter what way you look at this, it's still the right thing to do.
Yes.
Okay, so there is the letter of the law, and absolutely, I can never encourage other people to do exactly what I do, okay, just because you can get into trouble for it. So I'll say that at the outset. However, I work with companies as large as the BBC, okay, and we do a program together called Scam Interceptors, and that is put out on daytime TV. It's been running for about 3 years, and in the 4th series of this, and their lawyers had a very close look at what I was doing, what the team would have had access to, and includes things like being able to overhear phone calls. And as you can imagine, in any country, you need kind of very specific legal exemptions to this, because nobody wants the government listening to you, and why should these journalists be able to do it? Mm-hmm. So there's absolutely very valid reasons why on average you shouldn't be able to do this. However, when their lawyers look at this very carefully, it is outweighed by the public. It's described as public interest, but it's more to do with detailing what the scam looks like. And that is in the public interest. Mm-hmm. And if you can see exactly what scammers say to you, you know what their language is, you know the techniques they use, you can see exactly how the scam unravels. And if we're able to show this as a real scam, this is what actually happens during it, then your little bullet point lists from the bank or whatever,
right,
this is more likely to resonate with you than that bullet point list. Mm-hmm. Okay? If you can see it happening, if you can hear the language they use, if you can just experience it, you're far less likely to fall for it. And honestly, that is the key reason why the YouTube videos and the BBC documentaries and so on honestly outweigh anything which might be illegal. Now, there's an expectation that I guess I'm able to do certain things and not do other things. Okay, so that's a bit vague, but what I mean by that is I can't randomly hack into some computer. I can't do that. The way that it works is I let the scammers come to me. I have to let them scam me first. So someone will attempt to steal money from me before I go back to their computer.
Right.
So that isn't a defense to say I shouldn't do what I do. But if it ever came back to me and somebody said, how come you've got access to that guy's computer? I can go back to recording and I can show that the reason why I've got access is this person tried to steal money from me. Mm-hmm. And I can do that in every single case. So yes, technically it's hacking and technically it's illegal. But the only people who could ever have a complaint are the people who scam others. So far, there's never been any, okay, bar one, maybe we'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. There's never been any legal challenge to what I'm doing. And I don't expect there ever to be. Well, we'll come back to that one maybe. Mm-hmm. Just because if you raise your head above that parapet, you're if you're a scammer, you're going to get worse than me, put it that way.
Well, and we have a similar outlook too, because, people ask us all the time, well, aren't you afraid of, whatever, retaliation and this and that. And I'm like, sure. But there is also an element of like our best protection is kind of the cameras. And like, if anyone is ever going to try to retaliate, they know for sure that they're going to bring more eyeballs on them.
Yeah.
Gonna bring
And because whatever happens in the end, we're going to document it and we're going to talk about it and we're not afraid to talk about it.
Yes,
so
but you must get worried yourselves. So.
Yeah, to a degree. But again, I come from a similar kind of perspective of like, we're only exposing and going after people that prey on people that are weaker than them. Mm-hmm. And that to me inherently means you're a pussy. Yep. If you're going to prey on old people and children, you're a pussy. Like we're not going after cartels and people and gangs fighting each other. Like
drugs,
no interest
stuff.
in that.
Yeah.
I'm only care about people that are preying on the vulnerable. And by and large, those people are not brave enough to actually do anything notable against someone that could stand toe to toe with them.
Yeah.
And so far, I mean, knock on wood, but so far that's been okay. Yeah. And as long as we continue to do the right thing, what we feel is the right thing, everything's worked out up until this point, at least.
Yeah.
If there is any person on planet Earth, have no idea what are we talking about, have no idea what scambaiting is, your genius perspective, can you explain to somebody who has no idea what scambaiting is and how does it work?
One definition is, that most scams are a script. Okay, it's something that works. It's a method of stealing from other people by misrepresenting yourself. And scambaiting is simply engaging with those people and either having a bit of fun or laying a trap for them. Okay, so that's my definition of scambaiting. Other people would describe it as the art of taking them off their script as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yes. I love that.
and if you can do that in an entertaining way, that's great because that has views and honestly it's more memorable for people. And that's why I like what you guys do. But I do things slightly differently. I try to keep them on their script because what I'm really doing is socially engineering my way onto their computer. And that's what makes my videos a little bit different. And when I can get them to believe that I'm an old man or an old woman, I too have voice changers and so on, and they trust me, then they're more likely to let their guard down. So for me, scambaiting is the art of letting them believe that I'm a typically rich victim because I will fire up my fake bank account and so on. And, you would be surprised what they will do if they think they're going to get a payday.
Yeah.
And, we have other scambaiters.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would say one of the better examples of this is Kit Boga and his stuff, because he will torment them and give them little tantalizing glimpses of a possible payday. And there's nothing better than having money which is just slightly out of grasp, and you would be amazed just what scammers will do to try and get that money. And honestly, you could just summarize scambaiting as keeping the money just slightly in front of the scammer and they'll never quite reach it.
They can sniff it. It's like a rat and cheese. I can smell it right there, but there is a trap on it.
Yeah.